Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we'll talk to a real-life disruptor who is shaking up the restaurant delivery industry. His amazing journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, let's face it, the restaurant industry has just been victimized by the pandemic, labor shortages, food shortages, supply chain issues. It's been a brutal time, and you know as well as I do, some of our favorite restaurants are no longer there anymore. A man who's going to make a difference in this is Mikel. And he is with Snap Delivered.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about Snap Delivered.
So we're a delivery service, just like a lot of them. They popped up over the last 4 or 5 years. It used to be you only could get delivery from Chinese food, pizza, those type of things. And then when the apps came around, it started getting easier and easier for people. So there's third-party delivery services because restaurants need to focus on what they do best. So third-party delivery services came about. They really got successful and popular whenever the pandemic hit and COVID and people had to stay home. A lot of people started understanding them. And what happens is a lot of the delivery services take a huge portion of everything that these restaurants do. On a $100 order, sometimes they'll take 15 to 30%. And so our company, we used to do it the same way. But I never understood how restaurants could afford to do it, would do it. But what I figured out was whenever the restaurants were full, they didn't worry about the delivery. They didn't care. It was just something extra. But whenever they only were doing the pandemic and people were only doing takeout and delivery, they got to a point where they started looking at the numbers and they started realizing they're getting ripped off. And so we came up with a concept to where we do the same thing that they do, but we want to take care of the restaurants. We only charge a flat fee of $2 an order, and that's it.
And restaurants love a predictable, $2, I know what $2 is.
Right, and it's not a huge amount. My software and my app, it doesn't cost any more to do 100,000 orders as it does to do 2.
Yes.
So why do I need a percent? Like I tell, when I talk to restaurant owners, I go, if I was doing valet parking and I was a customer, I pulled up to your place, would you come out and pay my valet parking? Or would you pay my bill? The restaurant or the driver is not seasoning the food on the way there. They're not doing anything extra to add value to it. So why do they need 15 to 30% on every order?
Yes.
Why not a small flat fee?
This is fascinating. We found a great overview video. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
Disruption describes a process whereby a smaller company with far fewer resources is able to successfully challenge and eventually overtake a vastly larger, well-established industry giant. Apple Computer was founded by Steve Jobs in his bedroom while he was living with his parents. By the time Apple headquarters moved out of the bedroom and into the garage, they were on the path to not only disrupt the computer industry, but to revolutionize the cell phone industry and music industry forever. Amazon began selling books online out of Jeff Bezos' garage. Today, Amazon has changed the way people shop for most any product imaginable. Disruptors operate with speed and urgency, make decisions and implement strategies instantaneously, adapt to market conditions, identify customer needs and problems, then relentlessly seek out solutions. When there is an entire industry that all of the large companies have forgotten about the people and only focus on profit, that is an industry that is ripe for disruption. The major players in the restaurant delivery space have mistreated customers, shortchanged their drivers, and drastically overcharged their restaurant partners for years. There's a new player in the space that was founded on truth, transparency, and the lowest prices in the industry. A company that is utilizing the most powerful form of marketing in the world, word-of-mouth advertising. A company that is on a mission to prevent restaurants from being ripped off. A company working to prevent drivers from being taken advantage of. A company offering its customers amazing service and creating a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for its business partners. a company that is on a mission to disrupt the RDS industry, first the US and Canada, and then the world. A company that will eliminate all of the greedy parasites who are thriving at the cost of their customers, drivers, and restaurant partners.
Admire you for your courage, because often in an industry as seasoned as the one you are, you're going up against the big boys.
Right.
Did that scare you at all?
No. I mean, I was born and raised in Texas. You know, I was taught, go big or go home. You know, it's like, so especially if somebody's doing all the advertising for you. Yeah. You know, it's like if they're doing something wrong and you can go try it, you know, I've always thought if you find a big solution to big problems, you get a big paycheck. And that's what we want to do. We want to do the right thing by the restaurants, do the right thing by the customers, and do the right thing by the drivers, and treat people with respect. And I think a lot of times big business forgets that part of it.
Yeah. Let's talk about drivers, because you mentioned that.
I mean, it's so funny. You used to think of drivers as, you know, I tell people, you don't want, you know, somebody pulling up your house and more smoke's getting out of their car than with Snoop Dogg. But it's changed a lot. I mean, it's changed over the years that, you know, there's people college educated that like be able to turn the app on and go drive and make enough money to be at home with their kids when they want or take off when they want. They're not governed by certain things. But a lot of times these big companies, they try to pay you the least amount they possibly can, and they're not transparent with what they're paying. With us, our drivers make us, you know, $3 per order. They keep 100% of their tips. They pick when they want to drive, and we treat them with respect. And I think that's extremely important in any kind of business you do. Your drivers and the people that are building, they're the liaisons between the restaurant and the customer.
Yes.
So why not treat them as best you possibly can?
And I know that sometimes when you're acquiring a new client, it takes some selling, because, you know, they've not heard of you. So tell me how you convince a restaurant that they need to go with your platform.
To be honest, the numbers do it, you know, and we tell them, listen, we're a startup company, but we're in 20 different cities right now. We've saved, the greatest thing that we have going for us is being able to save them money. And we can do that on day one. You know, if they do one order with us, and used to, they would have, if it's a $100 order and they paid $30 or $20 or $15 and they only pay $2, I can start doing, I told you before we started, I have 2 restaurants in Washington, in Bremerton, Washington, that in the first week, we were able to save them over $500, and that's how we do it. And then we build goodwill, and if something goes wrong, I have reps in all over the country, and we're looking for new people to come on us on a daily basis. If something goes wrong, they don't have to call some other country for their customer service. They can get somebody in that town, or they can call my home office, and we really want it. We're a national company with a local feel.
Yeah.
And that's how we do it.
Well, you've really come up with a better mousetrap. You have. And do you think that the big boys have recognized you yet? Are you on their radar screen?
I probably, but that's okay. I mean, if I like to win, you know, and it's but it's also the thrill of the hunt. Like, maybe we don't get as big as they get, but if we can do something good in the meantime and we help the restaurants, I think that the word of mouth, we do everything by word of mouth. We don't spend hundreds of millions of dollars on advertising.
Yeah.
We have a referral marketing program that customers can make a small percentage and get paid. So we have to do it bigger, better, faster. And like the video said, disruptors, they work on limited budgets, but they go on word of mouth. So if we don't do it right, that's going to be out there as well.
No, I think your timing is perfect, and because everybody is now used to ordering, and disrupting companies are in right now. It's cool, and your next generation of client is the millennials and the Gen Zs, and they're all about it. They're like, okay, why would people do it this way if this is a better model?
Absolutely, and it's a fun thing to do too. It's like, and this isn't where we're going to end. Like, we're starting with restaurants. We'll move into grocery.
Yep.
We'll move into alcohol at some point, maybe. We'll move into floral. I mean, anything that can be delivered, we can do it. And we have an unlimited program where a customer can only pay $10 a month and get unlimited deliveries. So we have all kinds of things, and we've thought this out, but we've done every part of it. I promise you, I've probably done more delivery driving myself as an owner of a company than most of the guys that own any of the other companies put together.
Wow.
I was in this morning. I flew in yesterday from Florida. I was at my parents' house. This morning I was going back to my hotel, and I turned the app on for one of the other companies to test it. I did 2 deliveries this morning because I got to know what the other people are doing.
This is like undercover boss.
Yeah,
I love it.
And I still go do it on a daily basis. Like in my city, if all of our drivers are busy, I'm not going to let an order sit there. Because in some of the other companies, the apps, they have the ability, anyone has the ability to cancel an order. And if it doesn't pay enough, drivers will cancel, and then that order sits there. The customer doesn't get the order. The restaurant made the food. They canceled the order on the customer, and it's a cycle. The driver doesn't get paid, the restaurant doesn't get paid. They're out that money, and the customer's mad because they didn't get their food.
Paul, I admire you. I mean, especially kind of mystery shopping your own company.
Well, I do it because I want to just be the best. You know, I mean, I was raised by, my parents are amazing people. I flew into town actually to kind of surprise her for her birthday, but I was raised in church, they were missionaries, and they always pushed me to be the best I could possibly be. And it's like, why not go after the biggest and baddest out there? You know, and disrupting industries is fun if you can do it.
Well, when I go into the Apple store, I don't expect to see Tim Cook working the desk.
No, no.
I admire you. I hope you'll
appreciate
continue doing that no matter how big the company gets.
No, I will. I love that part of it.
Well, Paul, thank you for coming on the show. We're going to end with your website, which is opportunity.snapdelivered.com.
Yes, sir.
Check it out. And Paul, congrats on your success.
Thank you so much.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.